Hi, my name is Ryan Jorgensen, and for my project, I did whether or not there's life on Mars. As we know, this is a question that, as a lot of us know, this is a question that hasn't been answered. Um, but it's more than just a cool David Bowie song. Um, it's a really interesting question that actually goes back pretty far in our history. Um, so it's nice to know when would life have existed on Mars? Because it obviously doesn't exist now, at least as far as we know, it doesn't. So when would it have? In Mars past, there are three main different time periods. Um, there's the Noachian, the Hesperian, and the Amazonian. And it would be in the Noachian time period, the oldest of the three. That's when the conditions were just right for it, or at least the most right that they could have been. Um, and so, why is it the question? That is, I guess, something we should go over. So, as this quote puts, cumulative evidence suggests that during the ancient Noachian time period, the surface environment of Mars may have surface environment of Mars had liquid water, may have been habitable for microorganisms, which that in itself is awesome. But as it continues, habitable conditions do not necessarily indicate life. Um, and so it's a big question. It's like Mars can have life. It would be the coolest thing if it had life, but did it? And we don't actually know. Um, uh, yeah, it'd be really awesome, but we're not positive. So the timeline of this question. It actually goes back pretty far. It goes back all the way to the 1900s or the 1800s, 19th century. Um, in the 1890s, a lot of big name astronomers like Schiaparelli, who actually has some Martian features named after him, they thought that they saw these lines in on Mars. Now, modern technology has revealed those lines to be, at least a lot of them, to be kind of tricks, optical illusions, your eyes playing tricks on you. But they believed, at least a common theory, was that these were actually canals and that the Martians both did exist and were an intelligent life form. And so the Martians were creating these canals to kind of move water along the planet, because the planet was, at least in this belief system, the planet was dying and the water was kind of keeping everyone alive. Now, in 1965, which is really long time after, the Mariner 4 we got the first photos of Mars, like from not from Earth. So the Mariner 4 took photos of Mars from the orbit, and it showed that Mars was dusty and it was completely devoid of these canals, which was kind of a bummer for. I mean, that'd be really cool if it had intelligent Martians, but it doesn't. At least not that we know of. I guess technically something crazy could happen. So that happened. And so we're kind of back to square one. Now, in 1976, we got the first surface photos, which gave us more intel and a little more detail, but kind of just reaffirmed that Mars is a lifeless, dusty landscape. Now, in 1984, actually, something really cool happened. We got, a meteorite was found in Antarctica, and it's from Mars. It was from a really long time ago. And in there are some formations that a lot speculate are fossilized nanobacteria. Now, it's not for sure, so we can't say anything definitively, but that's what a lot of people think it is. 1997, we had Pathfinder, the rover Pathfinder. If you've ever read the book The Martian, it actually plays a big role in it, but that's not really important. Pathfinder kind of was rolling along the Martian surface, and it was getting more intel, just kind of getting us closer and closer to this conclusion. Could Mars have ever supported life? And if it could have, has it? Um, in 2004, there was a really big change. There were rovers Spirit and Opportunity, and they discovered that Mars has had water in the past, um, which is a game changer because water, while it doesn't necessarily mean life, it is conducive to life. Um, And then there was the reconnaissance orbiter, which through looking at different formations in the dirt of the Martian surface, it said that had to be made by water stream recently. I mean, relatively recently, more recent than the other one had suggested. Now, in 2008, the Phoenix lander showed that there was current ice just under the surface, as well as in the poles, but we already knew that. And in 2012, Curiosity got to Mars, and it was just kind of like roaming, seeing is there life on Mars, and that was its main view. And this is so cool. On March 12th, 2013, NASA announced ancient Mars was capable of supporting primitive microbial life. So whether or not it did, we're not sure. I mean, it did have evidence of past water. There may have been fossilized nanobacteria in the aforementioned meteorite. There is currently water ice found on Mars, and NASA has confirmed that Mars may be capable of supporting life. The main question is, has it supported life? Does life exist, or has it ever existed on Mars? Thank you.